going on in the world today that we kind of just would like a little guidance and direction for if we could speak to her 8D self. Can we do that? And I wanted to ask, I'm sorry?
Yes.
I wanted to ask if we could get some really practical, well, actually, if you could give us an overview right now of kind of what's really taking place on planet Earth. And I know you must have heard April and my conversation when I was sitting in my car and we were on the phone together about all of the different stuff that's really coming to a head right now with the currencies and the countries and the alliances and the talk of lockdowns and the control and all of this fear and all of this stuff, and kind of give us an overview from your perspective. And then secondly, I'm wondering if you could, even if you have to tap into her direct higher self, directly above her, to ask for some really practical things that not only April, but anyone who's awake, I guess, to these things of what's really going on, what we can do to empower ourselves and kind of a direction for us to take to help us break the relationship with the abuser in this relationship, that power over structure.
So I'm getting that there's a lot being done in the dream when you're dreaming.
Okay.
There's a lot being taught and worked through. In the dream state for each individual person, for this knowledge to come out during the day, for this there's information that is placed in you, in the individual. And in order to access this, they need to be out of the fear state during the day. You're out of the fear state during the day, then you can access the information that that you already know within you throughout your day. So get enough sleep, get good sleep. And be aware of your emotions during the day, not to be or to respond to your fear during the day. Resolve the fear quickly and efficiently. Trust in your knowing as the situation comes up during the day. You will get information. You will get that access to the information when you're awake. So notice when you feel empowered, what information makes you feel empowered, and notice what information makes you feel in fear. Be discerning, and then you'll will know which direction and what action to take. Hold on. Take care of your body the best you can to access the information. Things are not set in stone, so you can plan for the future, but it's not set in stone yet. So things are up in the air. So that's why the day-to-day focus is also very important. And getting sleep every night is very important because then it's more up-to-date information and knowledge. Hold on. Align, align your knowing with your voice. Um, this is important. It's almost like living as if people could read your thoughts. That's what you need to say out loud. That being in integrity, the more people that are in integrity, the easier this will be. And inspiring others to be honest with their with what they're feeling and what they're thinking, because um there's a war going on with the voices. The war going on with the voices. So um the voice is like a weapon. So in if you think of in a prior time, the weapons might be an axe or a gun or a spear, but you're in this war, the voice will be your weapon. So work on clearing every day, maybe a couple times a day, maybe morning. Oh, I'm getting this vision of like the Muslim who prays 5 times a day. Um, what you're gonna do is um, work on your throat chakra 5 times a day. Set an alarm. This is for April. You can use this too if you'd like, or anybody. And align your throat chakra so that what you speak and what you think and what you know is all in alignment. And get that throat chakra uh, flowing like a wave, really strong and with the strength of the ocean behind it. The more people that do this, the stronger the weapons will be. Integrity. Um, and it will yeah, it's like a weapon. Think of that as your weapon. Okay.
So is this like a collective coming out of, or coming into self-empowerment?
Yes, it's an expression, using your expression to become self-empowered. It is matching. Well, everyone is sovereign. Everyone is sovereign. So it's aligning the action, the expression, the heart, the willpower. It's aligning to your individual sovereignty out into the world. It's just a whose expression are you going to express, your own or someone else's? Whose will are you going to do, yourselves or someone else's? What action are you going to take? The action you want or the action someone else wants you to do? Are you going to align with your knowing and your sovereignty? Or are you going to align with someone else's? Either way, each individual has to align with someone's intention. So whose is it going to be? Your own? Cannot hide. It's not. You're a human, that's not an option.
Hiding is not an option?
Correct.
Because no action is still a choice, right?
Correct. No action is doing the bidding of someone else's intention for you. Out of fear.
So would you say this is also the golden opportunity for humans to escape enslavement?
Yes, there are many past situations that may have led a ancestral line to this point. It could have started 3,000 years ago. It could have started 1,000 years ago. It could have started earlier in your lifetime. It could have started from your great-grandparents' time. It doesn't matter when it started in your line. Most of the people on the planet have this what do we call it? Distortion? You could call it. That they can resolve at this time.
Mhm.
And it will change the trajectory of their own line. But depending on, that's why it's up in the air, depending on the choices of each individual, will determine the collective timeline. So it's unknown at this point. Just as it's unknown what specific action you're going to take tomorrow, so it is unknown what timeline you'll be in.
Is there a choice of two timelines right now, meaning can some people go on one timeline and others on a totally different timeline? Or is it where we go one, we go all? Or where the majority goes, we go all?
Right now, the best way to describe it is think about if you're in a dark room and there's a bright yellow light on one side and a bright blue light on the other. The light closer to where the blue light is shining, there's more blue there. And on the other side of the room there's more yellow, but as you come to the middle of the room, it's like a blend. So the time and space that you're in right now there's a blending. The blue light and the yellow light are in the same room. And this is just in this time and space right now. One can choose to be closer to whatever light they want, or they can kind of be in the middle of the room, blended, getting both. The light is both. All the lights are in the same room. That's what I'm getting. Like it's they're not separate yet.
Okay.
But the closer you are to the particular light you want to be associated with, you can get really close to it in this time and space. I hope that made sense.
Yeah. So there's no splitting of the earth, so to speak, at this time.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes. But you can be as far or as close as you want to be in this time and space.
Okay.
And then it's a hold on. The more think of gravity as well. So the more each individual is closer connected to a certain light frequency, then it will get like a gravitational pull with it. And just like gravity, the stronger the gravity in relation to what surrounds it, the faster more light will be pulled to it. Think of like a black hole. So right now, the light, let's call it the yellow light and the blue light, it might be kind of even. So the gravitational pull on which light to move toward might be weak. But as more and more consciousnesses get pulled to a certain light, then it will get denser and denser and denser, and faster. And there'd be more like gravitational pull for an individual to go toward that light. So each individual at this time and space, for April, she can just decide now, just go right to the middle of the light that she chooses and stay there. She will be surrounded by other people that have done the same thing. And then over time, you can witness how the rest of the world makes decisions. But you have already decided where you are at.
So the proverbial drawing the line in the sand.
You do each individual does not need to make that decision right this minute.
Okay.
But you can, and she
Okay.
can now. That would be helpful.
Why would that be helpful?
Because that means you're in the center of that light, and you can hold the gravitational energy to that light.
Okay.
Add to it. You don't need to convince anybody else to join your light. All you have to do is make the choice yourself and live from that perspective, and you will be effectively changing the timeline. You don't need to convince anybody else to do the same. You just hold the light of where you're at. Hold it.
And that's how we can have the greatest influence, right?
Correct. And feel safe in your light.
And let's say we are the blue light, the ones who want the higher timeline, the timeline that involves living in our sovereignty and not in a power over structure. So let's say we are the blue light. What experience would we have if more people gravitated to the yellow light? What would that timeline look like?
It is unknown.
I'm sorry?
It's not yet known.
Okay.
Do you mean if the majority go toward the power over structures?
Yeah.
You just hold your light. Be as sovereign as possible. Trust. And stay in your knowing. Remember what it is that makes you happy. And stay in that space and create those spaces as much as you can. Connect with those around you that understand. Remember, this is just a dream. And you can still experience the joys of being a human, even in that scenario. That will never be taken from you. I got the image of the Terminator. Connor, Sarah Connor. Just got that image back. She's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
She's strong, she's sovereign. So I'm just getting this image of her. She's not just a fighter, she has access to all human joys, has access to love, fun, strength, empowerment, connection. Human connection. It's that when you're in the state of empowerment, remember that comes with being empowered to connect to those human joys, if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just empowered over your body, it's empowered over so many areas of life that bring joy. You can access it when you want. Even if just a handful of people are around you.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries. Protect the things that make you the most happy. And you will always have them. So be discerning about what you're protecting for yourself, what you're keeping for yourself. Discern in your life. Discern in your life what makes you the most happy and what brings you the most joy. Those are what you can start protecting first.
Mm-hmm.
This message can get out. You can start talking about this.
So no matter what is going on in the dream world around us, that seems so real, focus on those things that bring us joy
Yes, and protect those.
and protect those.
Yes. For instance, it's different for everybody. So for instance, April likes music and celebration with people in person. That's important to her. So she can focus on protecting that. Or someone else might focus more on protecting access to healthy food. So if every individual was discerning about what truly brought them meaning and joy in their life, and picked those top things, then everybody working together can help protect those things. So being with her children, or her children being able to be outside without masks, let's say, that's very important to her, so she can voice and protect that. So using the voice and the action to protect the most important things for yourself. If everybody did that, then the most precious things would be protected and power over.
They'd be protected from power over?
Correct.
Okay. So like you said, our voice and speaking up and keeping our throat chakra clear is our weapon in this war.
Yes. So each individual is responsible for being in alignment with their true, authentic self. Not one person has to do everything. Just in alignment with yourself. The light that you choose to align with, the light represents what your desired experience on earth. So in order to choose what light you want to go toward, you have to be able to discern what you want to experience as a human. And you protect that light. So the ball of light is a combination of all the experiences you want to experience as a human on earth. And each individual is guarding that light. And they're standing around that light. And their voice is the weapon. Their voice and their actions is their weapon. And it's their protector of that light. So one can choose right now to magnetize themselves to that light. And to keep the vision of what that light represents. What they want this experience to be on Earth.
Mm.
This is all it is. This is all that's happening.
But it is a majority rules thing, correct?
Correct. Because if you have a group of individuals with a collective vision of what they want to experience, you could look at it like that vision of what they want to experience as a human on Earth is coalesced into a bright light. Now, if in that same time space, there's a different collective that has contradictory experiences on Earth, then yeah, whatever light is brighter will overtake the other one eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So there are multiple timelines, multiple outcomes possible. They're converged into one single point in time for each individual at all times. So your current present is influenced by the past and the future. And in each moment, one can decide what path to take, what to align themselves with, what to pay attention to, what to protect, what to voice, what action to take. It's up to the individual to decide.
Mm. Have all possible timelines already played out, and we're just deciding as a collective which timeline to experience in this now time space?
Yes. We will tell April or whoever wants to listen that if she looks at it like she has already experienced all timelines, that will give her comfort. If we tell her that after she dies, she will remember all timelines, that might help her not live in fear. So just maybe take on the belief of the knowing that after you die, you will remember all the timelines. And therefore, there's nothing to fear of like making the wrong choice or worrying about other people's choices. And instead to give yourself the freedom to align with your authentic self, your knowing. Trust your knowing. Imagine if every person could read your deepest knowing, your deepest thoughts and your deepest desires, and not be afraid of it, and to just live in alignment and integrity with that, then that will help her know what path is meant for her in this lifetime. And she can look back without regret. That might help her know how to move forward and not be in fear. And that doesn't mean that you need to tell everybody everything on your mind. It's just for your own remembrance of your knowing, and align your actions to it and your voice where you are called in the moment.
What about the monetary system that seems to be crumbling down around us? What kind of practical advice could you give us to prepare for the timeline where the current financial system crumbles around us?
I'm getting that it's going to fracture and then just fracture
Say it
and
again?
then I'm getting that it's going to fracture and then disappear. So it's not like the monetary system is going to disappear. It's going to fracture into fracture into different parts. Though there might be different currencies, and those in power will want to try and take control of each or as many types of currencies as possible. Just like when something new is created, they try and come in and overtake it and take control of it. So they will try to take control of as many currencies as they can. Not just currencies, but any form of methods of trade. And so for her, find methods of trade or currencies that don't have a central power structure. Stick with those for as long as possible.
I'm sorry, what as long as possible?
Stick with those as long as possible.
Okay. Would that be like a non-Bitcoin cryptocurrency or all types of cryptocurrency or something else?
Look into any form of currency or trade method that is not controlled with a central power. Because these are going to change. So whatever's happening currently, it could change. So you just have to constantly understand all the changes. Look into methods of trading that is not monetary based or current fiat currency as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the long-term goal is to feel empowered to provide value to your family and to your community and to the world. The majority of attention and the majority of her attention can be focused on improving herself and her skills and her knowledge toward being of value to the world. And there are many things that she can learn, continually learn, to help her feel empowered in that sense. Because that is the true value of exchange.
Could I summarize it by saying it's service to others and service to self, or would that be incorrect? Or maybe I should say service to others and service to self with integrity.
Yes. Essentially, you can ask yourself, what kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of, you're going to look at it like you're here to create the world you want to live in. So tie yourself to the type of currency that you would want to have, and tie yourself to the things that you want to create and express out into the world is to build the world that you want to live in. And then it will be created. It will be enhanced.
Mm.
And don't be afraid to express this into the world. Use your voice to enhance that this is what you're doing. And it will be magnified. Because remember, attention is a currency. So if you feel strongly that you want a certain currency or method of trade or actions, environments, experiences that you want on your earth, you can give that your own personal attention, but if you want to grab other people's attention on it, then you would need to enhance it with your voice, with your light. It's not to force, it's just to bring attention to it for people that might not be aware enough to understand that they're not using their own attention to figure this out for their own self. So they're getting sucked in different directions. And you can shine your light bright if you so choose, to magnetize attention on what you want to bring into the world. You can do that if you choose. It's not service. It is kind of service to self. So is that bad?
But as long as your intention is one of integrity and wanting, and truly wanting and desiring the best for everyone else, including yourself, I would think that that type of service to self is a high frequency energy to be in. Would it not be?
Yes, it is discerning deep down at your core your authentic self and your authentic desires, not your ego desires, and aligning with that. It's the highest form of that's in alignment with source, not yourself. It's not from a place of control or fear. It's from a place of peace and expansion and happiness for the earth. Connection to the earth. And for every being on earth.
And as long as it truly comes from a place of love, it's service to all, isn't it?
It's Yes, it's in service to source.
Okay.
Everybody is source. Everything is source energy. So if you're in alignment with that, then you're in alignment with all.
And again, it's not having the ego's desire for oneself and for others. It's creator's ultimate desire for this experience, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Is there anything else you want to say on that right now, or can we move on and to the next topic?
You move on.